Hey everyone, today I have a MoYu Skewb that just came in the mail. So, let's take a look and see how this thing is. Alright. So I got a black one, that one's not for me. This one is for me. Whoa. Very loose, I can tell already. Let's see. Okay. So it definitely doesn't have the ball bearing snap into place like the Shengshou does. Still somehow feels very clicky. But still very nice. Comes pretty much dry, no real lube in here. Yeah, I'm not sure how I would think about this. It definitely has potential. Currently I use Shengshou with the LanLan balls and springs inside of it, and it's very good. This honestly though feels a lot like my modded LanLan, which really isn't a good thing. I'm going to have to lube this up a bit and play around with it. I'll be back in a bit. Alright, so taking apart the hardware a bit, I can see where some of the problems lie. So this is when you take apart the cap of the MoYu Skewb. You can see that it's definitely very tense springs in there, which causes it to be incredibly clicky. Currently my main uses LanLan screws, so it's a Shengshou, but I take the springs out of a LanLan, and if you look into the LanLan, you see that the springs are much less tense, which gives it a much more smooth feel. The LanLan actual design is terrible, but the springs really make it feel smooth. And with the stock tensions that come on the MoYu, which are incredibly loose, a very loose turning cube with very snappy feel, is a very terrible mix. So I'm going to replace the springs in my MoYu with LanLan, and let's see how that turns out. Okay, so I've replaced the MoYu springs, the ball bearing springs, with LanLan ones, and it definitely makes it a lot better, but I'm still not convinced it's better than the Shengshou. And I'm really not that surprised. Mostly looking at the hardware, the MoYu really just looks like a modded LanLan, where the Shengshou really did redesign the Skewb. Here you can look at the core. On my right hand I have a LanLan, and in my left hand I have the MoYu. And in reality, they look nearly identical. They didn't really do much to improve on that. Where the Shengshou core, they did a lot to really like deepen the pieces. It kind of feels almost kind of like a Guhong design, or a more like a wind or an aurora design if you're talking Shengshou cubes. And this deeper build really makes it feel a lot smoother and cuts corners somewhat better. Whereas also, if you look at these pieces, on my right is a LanLan corner, and on the left is a MoYu corner. And with the exception of like making this base a little bigger, they look absolutely identical. Even if you look at the edge pieces, this is my modded LanLan with the chopstick torpedo, but their torpedo is a little better, but overall it's really about the same piece with some grooves in it. So it really seems like MoYu did a very lazy job with this. They really just modded the LanLan for you rather than really redesigning it and making it their own speed cube. Shengshou, on the other hand, you can tell they really did a nice job with the smaller bases, bigger edge bases, kind of like what you see out of a Guhong with built-in torpedoes and the deeper bases here. When I was using my MoYu, I was experiencing the clickiness getting in the way of me doing my sledge and hedge triggers quickly. I would often lock up quite a bit, sometimes drop the cube because it would stop unexpectedly. Whereas the Shengshou is very glidey, very smooth, and it really, I was able to chain sledges together much better. I did an average of 12 on each of them, and while it's pretty bad to compare times and call one cube better, the Shengshou did perform significantly better, getting about a high 5 average from me, and somewhere in like the mid-high 6s for MoYus. So overall, it's not that the MoYu is that bad of a cube. Really, for the Shengshou and the MoYu, you're going to have to do a significant amount of work to make them really good cubes. It's just a little disappointing given MoYu's track record of having very good out-of-the-box cubes. That this one is very disappointing out of the box, and even after significant modding, it still doesn't compare to what else is on the market. Maybe there are other tricks you can do to the Shengshou, or to the MoYu to make it better than the Shengshou, but I'm not sure what those are yet. And as of right now, the Shengshou with LanLan springs for the ball bearings is the best Skewb out there on the market. Alright, thanks for watching everyone. Take care.